Hello everyone! Welcome to something special that I'm doing for March. So I'm sure people are aware that March 10th is Mario Day. Because it's March 10, M-A-R-1-0, Mario. So I thought, you know what? It'd be fun to play some Mario. Unfortunately, I recorded an entire episode of this. Well, not even. It's only about 15 minutes. And then realized that the audio had been muted the whole time. Now, luckily, this is a game I can go back and replay. Unfortunately, as I was mentioning in the episode, of which, there was no audio, I'm playing on a legitimate, Super Nintendo controller, and I'm holding it in this, weird claw grip. Yep. I knew that would happen. Because, I'm holding the Y button so that for the run, but then I'm I've got the A button that I'm using to jump, but the A button is below the Y button. So, now, you frick. Just go away. So, my thumb started hurting. By the time I was, done with this first, world. And so, my hand is, a little in pain, in a way. So hopefully that's not too detrimental to, how, I play or anything. It has been a little while since the last time I played Mario, Super Mario World. I think the last time I played was 2021, I think. I think that, because we did Mario with, I believe it was Andrew. And so, I haven't played it since then. So I don't know how good I'll be. This isn't one of those games that I, regularly play. It is one of my favorite games by far. But I don't, regularly play it or anything. So I'm not, great. I know some speedrun strats. But I don't know how well I would be able to even execute them, even, So, basically what I'm saying is this isn't a speedrun. There's no chance of this turning into a speedrun. It's just going to be a series of a few episodes that I do. And we'll see. I mean, I'm planning to at least get all the way to Bowser. We'll just see whether the means of getting to Bowser, fighting him, etc., is, through Star Road, if it's through, beating all the Koopalings. That's what I'm gonna try for, is all the Koopalings. But some of the later levels I'm not really good at. So, but we'll see how it goes. I really have no idea how long this series will be. you know, how many episodes it'll be, like what exactly I'll be doing in the whole, you know, series in general. You know, I don't really know. I just wanted to play Mario World because, you know, Mario Day. And I didn't think that it worked well to just play, you know, like, you know, play, record, and, like, do one episode of it, you know, like, on the 10th. You know, plus I wanted to actually, you know, play the game. Like, I enjoy this game. It's not one of those... It's not a one-off game, you know? Not for me. So... but yeah. I also don't know, like, these are probably going to be half-hour episodes, I'm assuming. I don't really have any reason to make it longer, so... Man, I didn't get the 1-up that time. Last time I did that run, I got the 1-up. But I also didn't have Yoshi. I actually lost Yoshi. So, I also don't have my really funny death this time that I had last game. So, I mean, we'll see if it happens again, but... I like, let go of Yoshi and was like, bye, Yoshi! And then immediately died. It was hilarious. But that was in a later level. It wasn't in any of these. It was in the first flying level. I like let go of... I got hit or something. I think a charging truck hit me. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I don't really need Yoshi. So I was like, bye, Yoshi, and went to leave. And then, like, immediately, like, as I'm saying the words, I get hit by the charging truck and die, because I was small Mario. It was very funny. But I don't have that footage, unfortunately. So, because I had no audio. So even if it was just like, you know, something... Oh. Frick you. That's bogus. Freaking Super Nintendo logic over here. What do you mean this is a Super Nintendo game? So of course it's gonna have Super Nintendo logic. Frickin' Iggy is one of the hardest bosses in my opinion. It's not just a matter of hitting him 3 times, it's a matter of hitting him off of the platform, which only takes 3 hits, but you have to do them all while he's in a specific direction on the while the platform is in a specific direction. Mario's defeated the demented Iggy Koopa in Castle Number 1. Rescued Yoshi's friend who is still trapped in an egg. Together, they now travel to Donut Land! Nice. Nice. Donut Land. I also figured that this would be better to record than just Minecraft. I'm sure people are probably getting tired of the fact that, like, everything has been Minecraft. Frick you. That exact thing happened last time, too. I got freaking beans by that guy. Because I'm trying to get up here. Frick. Got it. Sorry, that was taking my concentration right there. Because you have to hit the back button at in very specific intervals to stay afloat like that. So, it's taking all of my concentration to do that and not die. I would like to keep both the flower and the cape, please, if I can. That way I can do that level again. And not need the freaking cape to get through. Or not need to go, you know, get the freaking cape, rather. You know, I was watching one of my episodes the other day. Frick you. Just because, you know, I needed to, like, see what happened in the episode so I could name it. And I realized something. I am, like, completely unintelligible. Like, I'm listening to myself and I'm just like, how do you, like, understand anything that I say? Like, it does not sound like that to me. But, like, when I listen back at myself, it just sounds like everything is just unintelligible slurring. I'm just like, what am I saying? You know? Like, I don't know how anybody, like, understands what I'm saying. I feel like I don't speak well. So, and I don't know if that has anything to do with, you know, being autistic, or if it's just that I never learned, like, how to speak properly, you know? Like, my brother ended up having to actually go to speech therapy, but that was more because of, like, his cleft palate. And so, like, they had to, like, he had to learn how to, like, speak after that got fixed. It took them, like, 10 years to get that fixed. Because this was back in the 80s when, you know, that wasn't, it wasn't as big of a thing, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, like, it was still kind of a new, you know, like, correcting it was still kind of new back then. Frick. But yeah, it took like 10 or so years before they actually got it, like, fully corrected. Ugh! No! Frick. Don't care. Whatever. It works well enough. But, like, he ended up having to go to, like, speech therapy. And so, like, we never really had the money to, like, do anything about my speech, you know? Normally I kick that out beforehand, before I end up in that situation, but I could not. I like how the camera actually purposefully, like, slows down there for a split second. Like, game developers back in those days used to utilize the fact that there would be, like, sprite lag and stuff to, like, make the game do, you know, the console do more. Nowadays, if you have lag in a video game, it's like this horrible thing. And maybe I'm old-fashioned, but it, like, FPS drops really don't bother me, because usually, you know, FPS drops are because there's a lot going on the screen, you know? And yes, things nowadays are vastly more powerful than back then, but that doesn't change the fact that we, you know, despite the fact that consoles are more powerful, we're still pushing them to do bigger and more powerful things. You know, in reality, we haven't changed in our method of, like, game development since even back then, you know? Back then, they utilized everything they could. Nowadays, if you don't utilize everything you can, people are like, oh, there's not enough, the graphics aren't good enough, you know. And it's like, but then, like, you know, you get people that do that, but then it's like, okay, well, you've got a choice. Do you want the graphics to be amazing? Do you want things to look great? Do you want all of this stuff that you're, you know, screaming and yelling for? Or do you want consistent frame rate? And it's like, we haven't changed. You know, we're not developing nowadays any differently than we were back then. You know, this was top tier graphics back then. And they did everything that they could to utilize every bit of memory that the Super Nintendo could hold. And so sometimes things lag. But that's what devs do today. You know? It's like they still utilize just as much memory as they can. And the games look amazing and fantastic because of it. And again, maybe I'm old-fashioned. Maybe because I grew up in an age where this was the top-tier graphics. I mean, look at this. Like, the game literally slows down right here on purpose so that this thing can go up and then back down, because otherwise you're actually not going to be able to get all the way over here. You know, otherwise the level isn't going to scroll enough for you to be able to get on that platform, you know? Like, they utilized the fact that there was lag. Whoops, sorry. And that there was slowdown to make the levels. And that's still what we do today, you know? You utilize the fact that there is lag and slowdown, but in the process you create something that is vastly higher quality, vastly better than, you know, what you would be able to do nowadays. You know, then, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Now, don't get me wrong, there absolutely are just bad devs out there. I mean, look at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, for example. Like, yes, it's open world, and so there's a lot going on regularly, but also some... And I haven't played it, my Switch is broken, but I've seen, like, some of the things that the game does, and I'm going, yep, nope. That is absolutely broken. That should not be doing that. So, then again, and a lot of people complain, like, oh, Game Freak, you know, they released Pokemon super fast. You know, they should have just waited. But you realize that they probably didn't have the choice. Because the new anime for Pokemon is starting in, what, April or whatever it is? And so you would think, well, you know, why didn't they just hold off until April? And the answer to that is a very simple question. What comes out in May of this year that would be a competition? Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom, whatever you want to call it. Like, that, like, they had to release months early. In fact, I would wager that Nintendo planned to release Tears of the Kingdom sometime, you know, last year. And when they were unable to finish production, you know, for the holidays, they turned to Game Freak and went, yeah, so that new Pokemon game that'll be done in 6 months, ship it tomorrow, basically. And Nintendo has done that before. To be clear, like, this is something Nintendo has, in fact, done before. You know? So, it would not surprise me if Nintendo basically looked at Game Freak and went, yeah, so your game's not done, but we need you to ship it for the holiday. And, of course, if you view it from that perspective, that they probably were forced to ship early, then yeah, it makes sense why the game is so buggy. Now, again, I'm not sitting here defending, like, you know, if this is not the case, I'm not going to sit here and defend Game Freak, you know. If somebody came out with proof that, no, Game Freak just released it early because, you know, greed, then by all means, you know, I will 100% back down. I've just seen this happen not only with Nintendo, but with other game companies. You know, where they're like, oh, well, we can't do this thing this holiday, so we're gonna make you, who are also big on our platform, do that this holiday. You know? Bye, Yoshi. So, like, that is that is the first thing that I would say. That would be my first claim immediately. It's not that Game Freak, like, you know, rushed the game themselves, but that it's more than likely Nintendo made them rush the game. So, but again, if somebody has proof that, no, it was just Nintendo, or it was just Game Freak rushing it, then by all means, I have absolutely no problems being like, oh, well, in that case, you know, I retract my statement. I just haven't seen any proof that it isn't Nintendo, you know? And here is another, you know, just another bit of food for thought. It may not even necessarily be that Nintendo forced them to rush it, as much as Game Freak may have looked at the fact that, you know, Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom, whatever you want to call it, was going to come out in May, and they went, oh crap, if we release then, you know, in April like we're planning, you know, like, greed doesn't have to be the number one reason. There is a chance that there could be a multiple of reasons, you know? Like, I remember when they announced DLC for Sword and Shield, and everybody was like, oh, they're doing DLC. Like, that's so greedy of them. I'm going, it's literally cheaper than, you know, releasing a third game in the series. And when I said that to people, they're like, yes, but it's not cheaper for me because, you see, I was already planning on waiting for the, you know, the third game instead of, you know, buying it right away. Now I have to buy it and I have to do that, you know, and I have to get the DLC. And I'm like, see, I understand your argument right there, but they're not thinking of you. You know, they're thinking about all of the people who are out there who have purchased the game. And let's be honest, the whole second, you know, third game, whatever, it's always just been DLC, you know? It's always just been, here's new content that we added to the game. It was already basically DLC. It just cost more. They literally looked at it and went, you know what? We don't want to do that. You know, this is the cheaper option. Ah, frick. That's gonna make this hard if I don't have a cape. This is one level you really want to have a cape for. Because these guys go through the door, Mario. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's because I am a game dev and I look at things not from the perspective of players, but from the perspective of game devs. You know? But maybe also I just want to assume the best in people. You know, maybe that's my, you know, character flaw, is that I just want to assume the best in, you know, in people. I want to assume that the entire world isn't run by pure greed, regardless of how true it is that the entire world is in fact run purely by greed. Ouch. I mean, just look at freaking America. You know? We voted in a president whose entire thing was basically, hey, I'll make the wealthy wealthier and the poor poorer and screw everybody else. And we voted for that. Like, that was practically the platform he ran on. And we voted for that. Heck, some people called him the next Messiah. Like, what? Like, freaking, it's greed. Greed is greed, you know? I wish more people could see. And maybe I'm like, you know, countering myself here, because I'm like, greed is greed. I wish more people could see when greed is greed. But I'm the one sitting here being like, nah, this wasn't greed, you know. So maybe I am like double standards. I'm not sure what the right term would be. But yeah. It is what it is. Ba, 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 ba. You know, the first time I played this game on, you know, when I wasn't playing it on, you know, for the very first time. Like, what I mean by that is, like, on emulator. You know? Because, like, the first time I played it, I did play it on a legitimate Super Nintendo. And then, like, the very next time I played it was sort of my, like, introduction to, like, the world of emulators. You know? But, like, I remember playing this game for the first time on the emulator, and I'm like, God, I don't remember this being, like, at all looking like this. Like, I remember the levels being completely different. And yet, that they are not. In fact, they have always been what they are now, as far as I can tell. Morton Koopa Jr. of Castle Number 2 is now just a memory. Next area is the underground Vanilla Dome. What traps await Mario in this new world? What will become of Princess Toadstool? Oh no! Alright, well, we beat 2 worlds in a half-hour episode. Get ready for every other world to take a full episode after this. And possibly even more than one episode. Oh boy. Because, yeah, things get way harder after this, so. But that said, I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, feel free to subscribe for more videos, more Mario especially. Because more Mario will be coming. Let's see. There's also a link down below to Discord and Patreon. You can check both of those out, because it does help support the channel a lot. And also there's a playlist, but this is the first episode, so, you know, there's probably only this one episode. So, but with that, I'll see you all next time. See you later.